be making a sewing notebook, and these are all the projects that we're going to be doing in this sewing notebook. I'm going to do each one as a separate video, and right now what I want to do is first just show you how to sew a straight line, okay? So you're going to take your fabric and you're going to place it under the presser foot. Now a lot of times people will place it next to the presser foot, and as you can see, what's going to happen is the needle is going to come down and not sew on anything. And what that does is it breaks the thread, and then you have to rethread. So lift up the presser foot, put the fabric underneath, just so that the needle, when it's ready to come down, it comes down right where the fabric starts, okay? Also, I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch seam right now, and I'm going to show you that the raw edge needs to line up with the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, so on the plate, you'll see that there is lines here, and then there's numbers. Okay, the line that's in front of the number is what it is. So this line here is for 1/4 inch. This one is for 1/2. This one is for 3/4, and this one is for 1 inch. If you have a home sewing machine, your numbers will be different. Usually it'll say 5/8 or something like that, but the number is always behind the line that you have to follow. Okay. So now we're going to just sew a straight line. I'm going to use, my eye is going to be right here, watching this fabric line up with that line. Okay? Also, I'm not going to hang on to the fabric. I'm not going to push it in. My hands are just going to guide the fabric through the machine. Okay? Again, my eye is right here. This is what I'm looking at. When I start getting close to the needle, or my fingers get close to the needle, I can move my hand and guide with my left hand. Okay? When I'm done, you'll notice that the needle is up, but the uptake lever here is down. So when I lift, I pull, and the threads aren't coming out. They're stuck. If I yank on them and break the threads, then I have to rethread the bobbin and rethread the needle. A couple of times of doing that, you're not going to want to sew anymore. It's not going to be fun. The way to stop that is this uptake lever should always be at the top when you are done sewing. So mine is not. So I'm going to take my hand and place it on the flywheel here, and I'm going to turn the flywheel until this uptake lever is at the top. Once it's at the top, then I lift up the presser foot, I pull the threads, and as you can see, it was very easy. They're separate, and I clip the threads back about this far. We're going to do 4 plain seams in a row that will be for your sewing notebook. The first one we're going to do is 1/4 inch, then 1/2 inch, then 3/4, and then 1 inch. So the 1/4, again, is lining it up. The first line that's in front of the 1/4 is the line we're going to follow. Okay, the other thing I want to teach you is how to do back tacking. Okay, some machines have a reverse and some don't. So you're going to sew forward a little bit. With the reverse, you're going to pull the handle or just push the handle down and leave it there, and then it will sew backwards. Then I'm going to lift the handle back up and I'm going to sew forward. Okay? So my eye is right here and I'm guiding the fabric. When I get to the other end, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put the handle down. I'm going to go backwards just a little bit and then put the handle back up and go forward again. Okay. Now, the most important thing is to make sure this uptake lever is at the top. Okay, so as you can see, if my needle is up and the uptake lever is down, you're going to have problems. So you're going to put your hand at the flywheel wheel here and pull it so that the uptake lever is at the top. Once it's at the top, you can pull the threads back and clip. Okay, so this is your quarter seam. It's back tacked at each end. All right, the next one we're going to do is a 1/2 inch. Now the 1/2 inch, I'll show you back tacking again, but this time I'm going to show it to you if you don't have a reverse. So you're going to sew forward, then make sure the uptake lever is at the top. You're going to lift up the presser foot, pull the threads back or towards you, and then come back to the beginning and start sewing again. Okay, my eye is here, watching this line, this fabric line right up on the line. I can see that I'm doing a 1/2 inch because there's my 1/2 inch number. Okay, I get to the other end and I want to back tack. Okay, I make sure my uptake lever is at the top. I lift up the presser foot, pull the fabric towards me, then come back, and you only need it about that much, about a 1/2 inch, and continue sewing forward again. Uptake lever must be at the top. I lift up the presser foot, pull the threads, and clip. This is my 1/2 inch. Next, 3/4. Again, I'm going to line it up now at the line that's just before the 3/4 mark. And I'm going to sew, back tack, and then sew forward. My eye is here. Get to the end, back tack, sew forward. Make sure that this is always at the top. Lift up the presser foot, trim, and there's my 3/4. The last one is 1 inch. So we're going to, again, line it up at the line that's just before the 1 inch mark. I'm going to back tack. Again, my uptake lever is to the top. I pull towards me, then put the needle back down and sew forward. Then needle back to the top, lift up the presser foot, pull the threads, needle down, and sew forward again. Uptake lever always at the top. Lift up the presser foot, pull the threads, and clip.